one of the things that Obama also did, because Obama's been in the headlines, he must have a movie coming out.
Must be. Yeah.
He was on the Breakfast Club, and he criticized Hispanic voters, and that's the way that it was for supporting Donald Trump. And first and foremost, I want to make the distinction here so that I always do that everywhere we go. Hispanic people are people who speak Spanish, and Spaniards. Those are our colonizers. Latino people or Latinx people are the people who were oppressed by many of these groups. So when they say the words Hispanic, they're not talking about us. They are talking about, a lot of times they're talking about our oppressors. So it doesn't surprise me that people who are of Spanish descent in America would vote for Donald Trump. Right? That's no different than any other white person who would vote for Donald Trump. So when they say Hispanic voters, it really drives me crazy because it groups us into this group and erases a lot of the cultural and racial dynamics of what being Latinx is. But a lot of criticism for the Latinx community and those who did support Donald Trump, which they try to target a lot of Cubans and people from Venezuela that come from socialist countries. But how fair is it to do this, Benjamin? And because there are groups of people, I mean, Black people and Indigenous people, Latinx people, gay people, LGBTQIA plus people who all voted for Donald Trump for whatever reasons they found. But there's been this continuous focus on the Latinx vote where in Arizona, that was not the case. Now, Florida, yes, right? How does it, for me, it triggers me because I know that what it is continuously trying to divide and conquer, right? They're constantly feeding us these narratives about how the other groups are against us. How do you think we tackle this to create some sort of solidarity? Because right now, all the groups are hurting. But we need some solidarity to flip this table over.
Yeah, I really have to kind of absorb that a little. One of the things, as I heard you describing the frustration that you face with so much emphasis being placed on Hispanic, Latin voters who voted for Latinx voters who voted for Donald Trump, it reminds me of the frustration that I have on my side when they say like, oh, 18% of Black men voted for Donald Trump. The truth of the matter is that every single community has reactionaries, right? Every single community has conservatives, right? It is overwhelmingly a progressive Black community, but that never meant that we weren't going to have people who are more than happy to do the bidding of white supremacy because it helps their bottom line. In terms of Obama doing the criticism, it's a little insulting, especially from my perspective as a Black man who still waiting for him to have done something for us. Like, why would you criticize communities as if they have to support you? Like, as if there can't be any deviation from the norm or from what's acceptable to the Democratic Party. Because the reason I'm making this distinction is because what they did, what Barack Obama does there and the Democratic Party does there all the time is they try to ensure that everyone is 100% in lockstep with the neoliberal talking points, paradigm, and ideology. And if you stray from that in either direction, to the Republican Party or to the Democratic Party, then they have to reel you back in. Now, if you're going over there to the Republican Party, I got nothing to talk to you about. Democrats can talk to you all you want. I got time. We don't have time. We got climate change to worry about. But in terms of everyone else, it's like they are doing their best to control us, but they're not doing their best to actually serve us.
Right. And I hold my people accountable because the truth about it is that when they put us in this Latinx box, they forget that there are Black Latin people, there are Indigenous Latin people, that there's a spectrum and the interests are different because we got our own white people too. Like, people don't realize we got our own group of white people who also oppress us. And it's really, what you said for me is so important, because yes, they continuously kept highlighting the fact that there was a rise in Black men who voted for Donald Trump, as well as the Black evangelicals and the Latinx people. What I want to ask you is, in the comments, people have said Barack Obama was the president of all people, not the president of Black people. What is he supposed to do for Black people, being the president of all people? And I would love for you to respond to that, because I'm so tired of that talking point.
I'm going to do my best to channel my very best Michael Eric Dyson, because he actually addressed this question back in 2009, right after Barack Obama was inaugurated. He was at the State of the Black Union with Tavis Smiley and Cornel West. And he said, what do you mean? Well, because Barack Obama said that himself. He said, I'm not the president of Black people. I'm the president of all people. And Michael Eric Dyson said, what do you mean you're not the president of Black people? By the very definition of saying that you're the president of all people, that means you're also president of Black people. And if you're not doing anything for Black people, then you're not being the president of all people. See, we use that as an excuse to say, don't expect anything as a Black person in this country. Versus saying, if he really represents everybody, if all lives actually mattered, Barack Obama, then Black lives would matter. And if all policy matters for all people, then Black policy for Black people would matter. So yeah, miss me with that foolishness.
No, I'm with you. I think it's first and foremost, the Black population in America is in dire straits.
Come on.
There is a problem for this community, and it is not a secret.
Right.
And it's been happening forever. And America owes Black American people, because Black American people built this country, right? But the fact that you yourself could mistakenly be assaulted by the cops or killed walking down the wrong street on the wrong night is the reality that we have a state of emergency in this country. And if you are the president of the United States, you are supposed to address that need.
Exactly. You need to address the specific needs of all communities, right? Because we have no problem. And this is, see, I won't allow this to drive a wedge between my community and everyone, because we're all one. If you are fighting on behalf of marginalized people, I don't care what race you are, ethnicity, gender, orientation, I don't care. None of that matters. That's our solidarity. We're all fighting. And so sometimes comments like this, he wasn't the president of Black America, he was the president of all America, goes to drive a wedge between the Black community and, let's say, the LGBTQIA community. Not that obviously there are plenty of Black LGBTQIA members, right? But in terms of like, if we're doing like big groupings, because what folks will always like to point out to us is that Barack Obama was more than happy to do something on behalf of the LGBTQIA community. Right. So if you're willing to do something there, if you're willing to do something for dreamers, if you're willing to do specific things for specific communities who are suffering specific harms because of America, do something about it. Damn it. Do something and stop trying to find ways of making sure that you can do anything you want except help Black people.
One of the comments here is fuck out of here with the Obama hate. Sometimes I address some of the comments, because I feel like I can't have a conversation with ignorance, but I will say this. You cannot truly support any president in this country if you can't criticize them. Right. And that's what makes the difference between you being a constituent and you being a fan. And we cannot afford, as people of color, to be fanatical about any of the people in public office, because our communities are suffering and struggling right now. And it is our responsibility to hold all of them accountable, including the ones that look like us, especially the ones who look like us.
Especially you got up there on the merits of, I mean, you had a cool career. I mean, there's a lot of Harvard lawyers, a lot of community organizers, a lot of state senators, couple of senators, federal senators. I get that. You start, but you got there on the back of the Black vote, right? The Democratic Party right now, Joe Biden will not be president today if not for the Black vote. And you tell me it's wrong for us to ask for them to do something for us? We'd be a fool. We would be a fool to sit back and just be okay with the fact, they're the president of all people, but they ain't done shit for Black folks. I'm sorry, what rating is your show? I don't just out here.
No, you say it. But listen, that I'm so glad you said that, because so much to the point that Joe Biden went on the Breakfast Club and said, if you don't vote for me, you not.
ain't black. Come on.
So even they know as much that they have been supported. Black women have showed up for them over and over again.
Absolutely.
Been saving this country from the beginning, from the moment that that they got here.